Hey guys, Panther 0822 here. It is den time with the Panther time, so that is that's what time it is. I wasn't even sure that I was gonna do a vlog. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty tired. I'm not quite feeling in the mood, but I decided I would go ahead and do a vlog. Um, I got to be honest. One of the main reasons I decided to do the vlog was actually due to a lot of the response that I saw to the stream I did at 1 o'clock today. So if you guys haven't seen that stream, I would encourage you to um, to go and watch it. It's about an hour long, and it's if you're a Star Wars person, I think you guys will enjoy it. If you're not a Star Wars person, then I don't know. Maybe you'll still enjoy it. I don't know. Um, but I did want to go over the day, go over the day. Um, I just kind of let you guys know how the day went and go from there. So no. That's not even remotely what. So okay, I guess I won't be sharing it that way. So honestly, today was not the best of days. Um, I've been dealing with some really bad insomnia, which has been making it pretty hard to sleep or get to bed, and tonight's no exception. Um, honestly, after this, I'm probably just gonna crawl into bed, opposed to staying up until like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. But that's not a guarantee either. So, anyways, um, and there's the MS spaciness kicking in. So, anyway, do you guys have music? I hope you guys are having some music. Did I pause that? I guess I paused that. I don't need to hear the music in my ears, but maybe you guys would like to actually hear some background music, so it's not just some dead air. Um. Anyways, there's a possibility that we may not get the apartment that we're hoping for. Um, the one of the people that we're working with has reached out to their manager to see if there's something that might be able to be done. It sounds like there are some cases where there are some things where they can be pushed through. So we're gonna work through that and try and go there. If we're not approved, I have a few other places that I can call and see, but otherwise we may end up waiting until the end of January when our lease was originally up to move. The difference of a month isn't going to make too much of a difference, but I don't know. Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm hoping that on Monday we get a phone call saying that the manager was able to negotiate some things, push some things through, and we're able to get the apartment. So that is what I'm hoping for. Um, so prayers and hopes and thoughts as far as that goes. I did want to kind of hit into the video. If you're watching the stream right now and you were one of the people who watched the video or shared a comment, on on my Facebook page in regards to the video, because I shared this out through my facebook.com/Panther0822 page, and then I shared it out to 2 different Star Wars pages, and it's interesting because the the title of the stream that I did at 1 o'clock today was a comparison of the codes, and it's a picture that you can find online. It's a commonplace picture, so I mean it's not a difficult picture to find by any means. But anyways, it had the Sith code, Grey Jedi code, and then the Jedi code. Now, for those of you who may or may not be familiar, the Grey Jedi code is a fan theory. It has not been established. It has not been put in as far as canon or anything along those lines. So, the Grey Jedi is very much a fan theory. That being said, there are a lot of people who kind of hold it in canon, even though it's not. It isn't official by any means. But what I find interesting is that there's, in a lot of ways, there's a lot of anger, and in some ways just downright hatred towards this particular fan theory. And honestly, I don't get why. I really don't. Star Wars fans, on average, and on higher than most people, are some of the most accepting and diversified people out on the planet. They're the people that are very happy and willing to go out of their way to help you. They want to make a bigger, they want to make the universe, the world, and by extension the universe, a better place. And so it's fascinating to me to see this code, this fan theory code, addressed with such hatred. And in a lot of ways, there's kind of a misconception of the code, because a lot of people read the code and they take a look at it and they assume that and this is based off of based off of reading the replies that I've gotten, and this is not the first time I've done this either. This is actually the second time I've gone over this particular code, and I got pretty much the exact same, actually a lot more heated response the first time through I did this. There were just a lot of people who have an outright hatred for this code, and I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. It's a fan theory. It's one of those things that, like anything in life, it's one of those things that you agree with and you support, or you don't. And unfortunately, when a lot of people don't support something, they tend to react in a negative way. They tend to use Star Wars terms. They tend to react like a Sith. They tend to react with hatred and malice and destruction. They're far more interested in telling you why and how you're wrong, and where you can go and shove it, and how hard you can shove it. And it's like it's not needed. It's not called for. It's very rude, and honestly, it's just not cool. I'm happy to say the second time through, the comments were far kinder. Not to say that there wasn't that same frustration and aggravation, but people in this particular go around were far kinder than they were the first time, and I'm hoping that people stay that way, because I do read the comments, and if I have a chance to respond to some of them, I do actually take the time to respond. But I felt that due to the response that I got through the Facebook, through reading the messages, and through the way some of these people are talking to each other, I needed to call it out and just kind of be like, guys, what's the deal? It's a fan theory. Nothing more, nothing less. If you subscribe to it, fantastic. If you don't subscribe to it, fantastic. I mean, it's your decision. It's your choice. But there's no reason to be belligerent about it. There's no reason to get up in somebody's face and tell them that they're wrong and you disagree with them, and that you want to go and verbally kick their ass because they believe in a fan theory. I mean, there's so many fan theories in regards to Star Trek and Star Wars and any sci-fi genre, and not just any sci-fi genre, any genre of film or theater or anything along those lines. So take your pick of a fan theory out of any of those, and then decide to go and get angry about that. And then you'll find out that you really don't, there's no reason to get angry, because being angry about something doesn't do you any good. Not to say that anger isn't a bad emotion. Anger in and of itself, and I can tell you from experience, anger can have a very destructive side. Anger is fire, but fire doesn't have to just be a destructive force. Fire can also be used for other things. So, which is something that, as my it's in my particular case, I'm calling myself the nice black kettle or pot, depending on how you look at it, because there's a lot of times where I really should be using the explosive anger that I have to put into other things, and I don't. So, which probably makes my wife happy to hear, provided she's actually paying attention. I don't know if she's paying attention at the moment, but that's okay. So anyways, I really actually, the main reason why I wanted to do this vlog tonight is I really actually wanted to take a minute and actually address kind of what's going on with that. I did want to talk to you guys about how my day was going, kind of what was going on as far as that goes. So we're still packing, we're still moving to Colorado at either in December or into January. So I mean, it's a difference of a month. It's not, it doesn't really change anything. Budgeting wise, it does change a few things, but other than that, it doesn't really change anything. So we're still moving ahead as far as that goes. But I wanted to take a minute and kind of address this. The main reason why I did this, why I did the stream at 1 o'clock today, did for a couple of reasons. No, and honestly, the most, in some regards, and you can rank these as in the order that you want. So I'll let you guys choose. Some people decide to take the first thing as what I say is the most important, or the second thing, or the third, or the 80th. It doesn't really matter. So take your pick. There was a gentleman who watched my original Gray Jedi video. I do have, like I said, this is not the first time I've done this. Where's my water? There's my water. This is actually the second time. The difference is this time I did one long video. The first time I did this, I did actually technically 4 separate videos. I did just a Jedi Code video, a Sith Code video, and also a Gray Jedi Code video. And then I did a 4th video where I basically wrapped everything up in a bow and kind of went back over the 3 of them and gave my final closing thoughts on the matter. And so a gentleman had watched my first Gray Jedi video, really enjoyed it, and him and I had been talking through the YouTube message board, and I let him know that I'd been thinking about redoing the codes, because the new movies are out, and I thought now would be a good time. We especially given that episode 8 is just about to release next week, and there's a very I mean, part 1 of the trailers, and Luke Skywalker specifically says he only knows one truth: the Jedi must end. Although it might be the Jedi must die, but I mean, either direction. Episode 8 is going to bring some very, very large changes into the Star Wars canon universe, and so I felt that doing a new video on the Jedi codes, kind of a refresher for those people who either aren't really familiar with them and wanted to kind of see them and see somebody talk about them, or even if you know the codes far better than I do, which, I mean, there are people who know the codes far better than I do. They can remember, they know them off the top of their head. They can talk to you about the various insights in between them because they've read books and they're far more into the lore than I am. So, but the point is, I told him I'd been thinking about redoing the codes, and he said definitely. He encouraged me to do it. So I came back through and spent an hour doing a stream, because somebody had asked me to go through and redo them because he thought it would be a good idea because I had ventured and said, hey, I've been thinking about doing this. So I did it because I wanted to do it, but I also did it because somebody actually requested me to do it. And if you guys are watching this on my YouTube channel, and I provided the encoding and everything behaves, and I can get this uploaded to Twitch, because sometimes the upload to Twitch doesn't always work. But no matter which platform you're watching this on, if you guys request something of me, as long as it's within something that I feel comfortable doing, even if it's outside of my normal comfort zone, if it's something that I feel like I could do, I will do everything within my ability to do it. Because I think it's important that as a content creator, as somebody who goes through and does vlogs and vlogs are not the only thing that I do. They're actually a very, very fractional portion of what I actually do. I do the vlogs because I have multiple sclerosis, and I do it as a way for me to just talk and get things out of my system, and so that you guys can see somebody who has multiple sclerosis just talking about things, even if I end up talking about like Star Wars and random shit like that. But I do also talk about my health and how it affects me and things like that. And then also, as I'm talking and doing my vlogs, there are times where my MS does hit me. There are times where you'll see me space out. It's already happened in this video at least once, where I'll literally space out for 30 seconds to a minute or longer. And that's not me just losing my place. That's my MS smacking me dead in the face and going, hey, I'm here, is what that is. My MS affects me in other ways. It affects me physically because I'm constantly, I mean, for the most part, my medicines manage my pain, but I'm in pain a good portion of my day. Because that's the way that MS works. MS strips the myelin in your brain and it screws with your body. It's a autoimmune disease. It sucks. It really does. So the main thing that I actually do is, and if you guys go and take a look at my playlist, is I play video games. It's what I do. I'm disabled. I mean, a lot of people might think, hey, you can sit and talk in front of this. You can go work at a call center. No, actually, I can't. Prior to the multiple sclerosis diagnosis in September of last year, when I was 18 months, I had an inner ear infection that went into my throat, sealed my windpipe for 5.5 minutes, and so my brain was oxygen deprived for 5.5 minutes. For those of you who have medical degrees, you're going to know that brain damage occurs at 4 minutes. For those of you who don't have a medical degree, now you do. Or, well, not have a medical degree, but now you know where that cutoff is. At 4 minutes, that's where brain damage happens. When you see medical dramas start talking about at 4 minutes, that's when brain damage starts occurring. That's not made up. That is fact. So when I was 18 months, my brain was already got screwed up because it was without oxygen at a critical stage of development for 5.5 minutes. And now let's add into that last year, I now have a disease that is now stripping the myelin in my brain, which is an autoimmune disease that it's attacking my immune system. So the answer is no, I can't work in a call center. There are things that I used to be able to do. I used to be able to at least work in retail. My management staff was able to at least work with me and around me so that we could make things happen. I barely made it out of my 2 weeks. I gave my 2-week notice, and I barely made it out without getting fired because I told at least 1 or 2 customers to go fuck off, in pretty much that exact terms too. So you don't keep a job when you tell a customer that. You don't. I've had 2 call center jobs over the years. I've worked 1 year and 9 months in call center work, and I'm fired for both of them because of tone, for one, and 2, the way that I talk to people, because I don't take bullshit from anybody. So I'd have a customer start giving me ass, and I'd straight out tell the customer, hey, look, jackass, put your head out of your ass, and I can help you work through this, or you can keep being a jackass, and I'll hang up on you. Choose one. And my manager would, and again, one of my wife's friends was my manager, and she'd be like, dude, you cannot talk to the customer like this. I just did. It's like, no, don't do that. So, again, as much as I can sit and I can talk in front of a camera, that is about the extent that I can do. And even on that is a limited circumstances. There are times where there have been times where I have not done a vlog because I have not been physically in a place where I could do it. My body was in too much in pain and I needed to rest. So, take it for what it is. Anyways, I tend to be a bit long-winded and ramble, and that's not the MS. That's just me. So I apologize for that. But I do tend to, when I get passionate about something, I tend to ramble and beat a dead horse repeatedly. And once that dead horse is beat to non-recognition, I'll find the next dead horse and beat that one. So, I don't mean to do that. It's what happens. I latch into it. My family has likened me to a bulldog on more than one occasion, and for good reason. So, speaking of which, I need to let go and kind of let you guys go, and I need to crawl into bed so I can at least attempt to get some sleep. I don't know how well that's gonna go. So, anyways, to kind of wrap up, to kind of come back to the initial point that I was talking about in regards to kind of the Great Jedi Code and the stream that I did earlier today, which again, I'd encourage you to go watch it. It was a really good stream. Is that in Star Wars, things are changing. You have the original series, 4, 5, and 6, and by the end of that, even the way that the Jedi operated, by the time they ended the Jedi Order, for the most part, well, not most part, it was disbanded. It was pretty much of non-existence, mainly because Vader and Palpatine, along with Inquisitors, had pretty much hunted and either converted or killed any Force sensitive. So there were very few Force sensitives left by the time Luke came around. And now you have the entire new series in between Episode 6 and Episode 7, to where Luke built and was doing his thing as far as training the next generation. And now something has happened to that academy to where basically, from what I can understand, is Kylo went through and destroyed what Luke had been doing. So, and now Rey is approaching Luke and going, basically, teach me. So we'll see what happens by the end of 8 as far as the new canon stuff that'll be in that. Based off of what I know, Episode 8 is going to be until Episode 9 or the other Star Wars movies beat it in runtime. But at the moment, Episode 8 is supposed to be the longest runtime of about 2. I'd have to. I've seen varying numbers, so it's a varied runtime in between about 2.5 hours to 2 hours and 45 minutes, somewhere in between there. That's the runtimes that I've heard. Given that the movie's officially is officially coming out next week, I could honestly just go to a website and get the exact runtime from that. But I'm tired and I honestly don't care as far as the runtime goes, because it's Star Wars and I'm going to go and I'm going to see it, and I'm either going to really enjoy it or go, okay, but wasn't quite as good as I was expecting. So yeah, anyways, I've rambled long enough, guys. I need to get to bed, or, well, like I said, attempt to get to bed, because I've still got a house to pack, clean, and get ready to move. And regardless of whether that's here in about 3-ish weeks at the end of the month, or whether that's in 7 weeks, either direction doesn't really matter. I still got to get it done, and the sooner I get it done, the better. And yeah, so thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I know my wife was probably going to be like, dude, you were rambling and going in circles and beating a dead horse way too many times. That's assuming she's paying attention. But anyways, I love my wife. My wife is awesome, and honestly, I would not be able to do the things that I do without my wife. She keeps me grounded. She helps me with my MS and helps balance the equation out when otherwise I just wouldn't be able to. So I love my wife. I think she's awesome. And yeah, so anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button or follow button depending on which platform you're watching this on. And until the next time, this is Panther 0822. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Love you, wifey.